Hello, this is the Gear Guy with LiveLongGear, and today I'm going to be talking to you about Flint match fire starters. So this is a little kit that I bought. It's a Coghlans. I'm trying lots of Coghlans products. I'm not getting anything from them, but Coghlans is relatively inexpensive and they seem to be everywhere. So that's why I've chosen Coghlans to go through, and it kind of gives me a standard or an idea on a lot of the different products that are out there. So what this little kit is a little plastic case that comes with a bunch of these waxy, I want to say they're almost like a waxy cotton ball. They're very, they almost feel like an earplug. A little bit thicker, heavier duty, and waxy. They also smell nice. So here's your Coghlans Tinder kit. Let me get the instructions out of there. These are your lighting instructions. So I don't remember how much this cost. I want to say it was right on par with some of the other fire starter and tinder kits. So I'd like to point out that this is called a tinder kit, not necessarily a fire starter. So the focus on this is to be able to get a flame that's continuous that can light something else. It's not meant to be a standalone flame for heat or light. It's meant to start. So the instructions read: take a cube of the tinder and press it firmly from both ends so as to flatten it approximately the size of a quarter. Alright, that's both ends. I assume it means this way. Great, this is going to be... smash it. Is that a quarter size to you? Oh, here, I've forgotten the signature dollar. There. Oh no, there's water. Let me fix that. It's a little bit of a water mess here. Problem solved. Okay, so you got your dollar here. If you want to know about how big, how big this whole kit is, it's relatively small. If I'm placing on the bottom corner of the dollar there, it's a relatively small deal. It doesn't quite go the whole width this way for the dollar, and it's about half as long. So it's pretty tiny. It's not very thick, maybe an inch, maybe. So it's pretty tiny, pretty lightweight, and it comes with 8 of these little fire starter deals. So it says slowly pull the 2 flattened tinder into 2 parts. Pull longer and fuzzier. The longer and fuzzier the fibers exposed are, the easier it will light. So there's fibers in here. Let's pull it apart and see what happens. Oh, look at that. That's great. That's some good fire material. Oh yeah. Oh, okay, so it pulls into strips. Kind of. Oh, there, and I've ruined it. So there we go. So we got these little fire strip things. That's kind of neat. Alright, so far I'm liking these things. You could definitely get more use than just 1 or 2 out of each one of these little cotton balls. They are in fact cotton balls. So there you go, we got 2 of these things. Pretty good length, size, or 3 now because I've ruined one. So I'm going to set these other ones aside for the time being. Alright, now it says do not disturb. In cold weather, the tinder may be softened by placing near the warm part of the body. So that's good. I like to know that they've taken the time to consider, all conditions, weather, or at least another weather condition. So they're saying, these things can get hard because the wax, it's almost a waxy material. Just put it against your body to get warm. Hopefully you're alive and you put off body heat. So, do not disturb the fuzzy fibers you have exposed. Press the unfibered ends together with the exposed fibers pointed outward. So I assume it means, well, I didn't pull mine perfectly, but I assume it means take, a couple like this with a bunch of exposed fibers and stick them together like that so that all the exposed ends, you see, are all sticking out. So they can catch flame, I would assume, is the point of that whole deal. So I'm going to stick a bunch of them together like it says, all the fibers at one end. It's kind of fun. It's almost like crafts. Alright, I got a bunch of fibers going here. This is one of those things, oh shoot, you want to practice, so or at least try it once so you know what you're doing come the time. You don't want to just pop out and hope the directions are there. Most fire kits, or a lot of tinder starting kits, don't come with very detailed directions. There's always things that you will learn doing it that you weren't able to foresee. So I've kind of balled them all together here at this end, and now I've got all my fibers. So that looks pretty good to me. It says, ensure you have sufficient kindling and other fuel at hand to build and sustain the fire after igniting the tinder. So it doesn't sound like this stuff burns for a long time. Now I didn't even use half to make this much. I'm just going to try it like this to help keep the video short. I'm not going to sit here and pull these apart. So I've got my tinder today will be a piece of cardboard. So let's see if we can start it with that. Because if we can start this pretty heavy duty cardboard, if we can start that stuff, we could probably start just about anything. So I'm going to go ahead and tear up some cardboard. We'll pretend this is your pine needles, small pieces of kindling, wood, whatever. Whatever you came up with, whatever you could find. Pocket lint. Now remember, this is a tinder kit, so the point here the reason they made it is so that they can get a fire started. It's not meant to be your light source. I mean, it could be for a short time. So this is what comes in the little flint match box. It's kind of neat looking. It says unscrew the striker pin from the flint match. Alright, I can do that. Hold the match so the end of the flint bar is close to the exposed fibers. Oh wow, look at that. Here, I don't know if we can see that here. So it looks almost like it kind of reminds me of a Zippo lighter head, the string material there. But so, oh, you even have a little striker bar here, kind of like on, here I'll show you, almost exactly. Oh shoot, hold on. Alright, almost exactly like you have on these heavy duty bars. Hold on 1 second. We're having a technical difficulty. There we go. Alright, batteries. I'm back. So, so then you just strike it. You put it's flat on the end. So then you just strike it, I think. Yep, there we go, a little spark, cool. So, place kindling around the burning with flat end. Striker pin, flint bar close to the body, and with a slight pressure scrape the pin. So they don't say anything on how to do it, so I'm just going to set it here and ignite it. Ignite away. Oh, lit right off. Look at that. Ah, well, that's pretty good stuff. I mean, now I didn't use very much of it. We got a whole bunch of it. And it seems to be, because it's wax, fairly waterproof. And I have no doubt that we can light some of the kindling on fire fairly easily. It's a very hot flame. Some fire starters don't actually put off that hot of a flame. This one does. Which is important especially important if you're trying to dry off damp materials. So let's see about how long that lasts. That's actually seems to be going pretty strongly. You know, let's see how it does with a little more heat. I wonder if it's easy to suffocate. It doesn't seem to be. It says, oh, here in the instructions, I'd like to read this to you. It says, stay calm. It may take more than one strike on the flint to get sparks on the fibers. Once ignited, one tinder cube will burn for several minutes, giving you adequate time to get kindling ignited. Doesn't mean light it on fire, then gather. It means gather, light it on fire, and then you better be able to make yourself a pile of wood on that thing. So it even tells you, after reading the instructions, refold this instruction sheet and place it in the box with the tinder and flint match for future reference. Well, that's neat. It also gives you a whole bunch of tips for, I'm going to put this out before I set this piece of paper on fire. So it's very resilient stuff. It is what I would say is waterproof, because these things, before you pull them apart, are completely covered in wax. No exposed fibers at all. So that in my opinion is fairly fire resistant. So, oh, that's all. The wax is stuck to the wax gets liquid, gets moist. How about that? So I'm gonna scrape this off the fire area, the designated fire area. If nothing else, this stuff is fun to get and just play with all these different fire starters. You know, and check them out. Makes me sound like a little bit of a firebug, but it's good to learn. So then you just put it back in here, screw this little thing down, and you're good to go. I don't know why it comes in a whole box like this, but you know, whatever they need to do, I guess. My only concern with this is that the fire starter, this stick might come out. So again, you can, if you're going to use this, you can just drop a little drop of glue there, a little drop of glue there, right on the stick, the strike rod, and you'll be fine. So Let's look at some of these. Check this out. They got tips for emergency fires. Whole list of them. If you wait until the time you're out in the forest and read about these, that's actually okay as long as you actually have it with you. So, I mean, it's better obviously to be prepared. So, I mean, it's got some cool stuff in here. It talks about cold, thirst, hunger, wet clothing, selecting a site for a fire, reflectors, you know, things like that. It's got some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, it's got some interesting stuff in here. I definitely take some time to read that, so I think you get a pretty good bang for your buck with this kit. I think I could trust this kit. I don't like, the only thing I'd change is I'd probably take it out of this plastic case. But, you know, none of the stuff can really be smashed except for this, and this thing is it's pretty tough. It obviously won't stand up to jumping on or anything like that, but seems to be fairly resilient, and these wax pads or these little wax earmuff type things are very, very tough for sure. So there you have it. Oh, shoot, I forgot to put it in the box. There's your Coghlans Tinder kit. So I believe, I want to say it was $4 or $5. Pretty good deal. Definitely easy to light stuff. So one other thing I want to try before I get off with you here, guys, is I want to actually try and light this stuff with sparks, or a lighter, or a match, sorry. I'll get it right eventually. So that's an all-in-one kit too. I'd like to point that out. That's something else I like. And it seems to be a fairly well-working all-in-one kit, which is important. So there you go. I'm sure it'll light with a match. Stuck to my finger there. Looks like a part of Santa Claus's beard. And here we go. Let's light the beard on fire. Oh, it's not good to have it stuck to your finger when it's on fire. So there you go. Super easy. Oh, stuck. The only dangerous part I'm seeing now is it is sticky. It's very sticky. I would not let kids play with it for fear that they would smash it to their finger, then light it, and not be able to get it off. I'm sure you just watched me do that. So that's a fear. It is wax. It will get turn fairly liquid. Watch this. I'll just show you. So I just barely squish. You see the liquid on the board, and obviously it's still on fire. But I mean, I'm gonna touch it because I'm crazy. But you see, it's very liquid. You can see the fiber still sticking. You can see kind of the outline of the wax. So hot liquid wax is something to be noted on this one. So, alright guys, subscribe, comment, tell me what you want to see, like the videos, subscribe, comment. Take care guys.